Hello. Hi guys. Am I audible?
Sir, you got.
Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, we will be starting as usual by 10:05, okay? Okay, I guess we can start, right? So yeah, guys. How's the assignment going? First of all, like, are you guys trying the array questions?
Yeah, just me.
Okay. So, any doubts in the problems that we discussed yesterday? The two problems that we discussed.
No, sir.
Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, today we will be continuing with the same assignment, arrays, and we will be trying to cover as many problems as we can. Okay.
Hello.
So please, yeah,
Yeah, I have
all,
it down.
yeah, please.
Accident problems.
Okay, yeah, please tell
Hello.
me. Yes,
Hello.
am I audible, right? I'm audible, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
There is a subarray some divisible by k.
Okay.
I want a dry run.
Okay, for that, if you could did you like rewatch the recording if you were facing issue with the dry run?
Yeah, I'm watching that, but again I have doubt for that. That's why I want to dry run again.
Okay, all
I
right.
also understand that question.
अच्छा अगर ड्राई रन चाहिए तो ड्राई रन ना एंड में लेते हैं, राइट? आई गेस फिर आज की क्लास थोड़ी सी लंबी जाएगी, पर कोई बात नहीं, ड्राई रन लास्ट में लेते हैं, राइट? ठीक है,
Yeah.
No, sir.
अरे 2-3 बच्चे ही होंगे ना, तो 2-3 बच्चों को लास्ट में हैंडल कर लूंगा, ठीक है? ओके, सो प्लीज लेट मी नो कि या हु वाज दिस? हाँ, Anshul, your voice is really low. Can you speak louder?
Hello, is it okay now?
Still, it's like really low. Guys, is it only low for me or you as well?
Sir, it is low.
Yeah,
Okay, is it okay now?
yeah, it's better. It's better.
Okay, so sir, sorted insert positions. I was not able to understand the question and mark cakewalk as well.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Okay. Okay, so we will be taking those problems today. All right, let's start with sorted insert position. Okay. How many of you guys tried this problem? How many of you guys?
Sir, tried, but only 6 test cases are in class.
Okay, only 6 test cases out of 10, I guess, right? 50% pass.
Yes.
So yeah, let's solve this problem together, right? The problem description says given a sorted array A and a target value B, return the index if the target is found. If not, print the index where it would be if it were inserted in order, right? You may assume no duplicates in the array. Okay, see, we need to find the element. If it exists, we need to return its index. If not, we need to return the position where it should be inserted, right? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I didn't
So,
get like, so I didn't get like what it said when if it were inserted in order. Like, what does it mean? The other array
Okay.
was sorted.
Okay, please see the screen. Please see the screen. Let's say we have an array of 1, 2, 5, 6, right? 11, 20, 15, and 23, right? Now, is it in sorted order? Yes, it is in sorted order, right? 1, 2, 5, 6, 11, 15, 23. It's in sorted order. Now, please tell me what will be the solution of this, right? If the given array is this and the target value is 30, right? What will be the answer according to you guys, so that I can know ki you guys are good with the problem description or
So
not?
5.
Right. So you are saying 5, right? So let's try and work on the solution, right? What does the problem description says? Ki if the number exists in the given array, right? Please return the index if the target is found. What is the target? Target is 13, right? Does the target exist in our array? If so, we need to simply return its index, right? If not, print the index where it would be if it were not inserted in order, right? It was inserted in order. Okay. So is 13 in our array? Let's search. Okay, so 1 is equal to 13? No. 2 is equal to 13? No. 5? No. 6? No. 11? No. Okay. Is 15 equal to 13? No. Okay. Now this is the point of observation, right? So far, when I was checking with these values, right, I know that these values are smaller. So there is a possibility of a larger number to exist after the smaller numbers are covered. Why? Because it's in sorted order, right? 13 can only exist after 11, right? Before 11, there is no chance, right? So that's why I was doing a linear search. Okay. I was doing a linear search, but as soon as I found a element greater than 30, right, that is 50. Now, is there any possibility for me to find any 13 after 50? No, because it's in sorted order, right? So all the 13s should have existed before 15, right? Or let's say the target should exist before the values that are greater than the target, right? So far clear? Right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So let's have a look. What should the solution be, right? 1 is at 0 position, 2 is at 1, 5, 6, 11, right? So I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. So the answer should be 5, right? The sixth position,
हेलो
right?
सर
The sixth position. Yeah.
सर इसमें हम बाइनरी सर्च ट्री भी तो यूज कर सकते हैं क्योंकि ये सॉर्टेड एरे है
Binary search.
सिखाया नहीं है।
Binary search tree लगाना चाहते हो आप इस पे?
बीएसटीएस सर
BST का करोगे क्या? आपको array दी हुई है, BST से बढ़िया तो binary search लगा दो.
तो सर यही तो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं क्योंकि 13 इसमें क्वेश्चन में ये कहा है कि अगर 13 एग्जिट्स है तो उसका इंडेक्स रिटर्न कर दो नहीं है तो -1 या फिर
हाँ, वो बात मैं आपकी मान गया. आपको बाइनरी सर्च आता है?
यस सर C++
आप
के थ्रू आता है
ठीक है, आप एक काम करो, इस पे बाइनरी सर्च लगाओ, आप मेरे को कोड शेयर कर देना. ठीक है.
सर क्वेश्चन क्या कहना चाहते हैं एक बार आप बता सकते हैं हिंदी में
क्वेश्चन ये कह रहा है कि एरे में एक एलिमेंट्स है सॉर्टेड ऑर्डर में, इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में, राइट? 1 2 3 4, राइट? इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में एरेज में एलिमेंट्स हैं. हमें एक टारगेट वैल्यू दी हुई है और हमें पता करना है कि क्या वो टारगेट वैल्यू हमारे एरे में एग्जिस्ट करती है. अगर एग्जिस्ट करती है तो हमें वो इंडेक्स दे देना है जहाँ पे वो है, राइट?
Okay.
अगर एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती है तो हमें वो बताना है कि किस पोजीशन पे एग्जिस्ट करनी चाहिए थी,
Okay, sir.
राइट?
Yes, sir.
अभी जो मैं कराऊंगा मैं लीनियर सर्च से कराऊंगा। अगर आपको लीनियर सर्च आती है, आपको बाइनरी सर्च करना है, तो आप एक काम करो, आप बाइनरी सर्च को कोड कर लो, आप मेरे को लास्ट में शेयर कर देना, राइट? क्योंकि मेजोरिटी क्लास को बाइनरी सर्च नहीं आती है।
Okay, sir.
ठीक है, ऑलराइट।
Okay.
So yeah guys, for the remaining rest of the guys, what I was saying कि we need to linearly iterate, right? We will be checking with each element कि is this element मुझे कौन सा सर्च भी नहीं आता, कोई बात नहीं, साथ में करेंगे, लीनियर सर्च करेंगे, बात नहीं, राइट? So we will be like going over the elements one by one, right? Starting from the very smallest element, because the possibility of finding 13 is only till the point when we haven't found any element that was greater than 13, right? So let's say key 1 is smaller than 13, yes, but it's not 13, so skip to the next element, right? 2, it's smaller than 13, yeah, still there is a possibility key I can find 13 afterwards, so let's move ahead. 5, same condition. 6, same condition, not a 13, possibility of finding further, right? 11, not a 13, but possibility of finding further. Now I hit 15, right? Okay, as soon as I hit the first element that is greater than 13, right? So at that very moment, I can say ki all the elements to the left of 15 are smaller, right? If you have a look, these elements are smaller than 13, right? Now 15 is greater, right? There can be two cases. Either it can be 13 or it will be an element that is greater than 13, right? Rest assured कि all the elements to the left will be smaller, all the elements to the right will be greater, right? Now, as soon as I find the first greater element, I can say if 13 would have been existed in the array, it was at this position, right? Because all the elements to the left are smaller, covering these smaller elements, only after them I can place the 13, right? So this is the correct place where 13 should have existed, right? This 15 position, right? The position of element 15. So this is the correct place, right? See, let's have an easy example. If you guys are like facing any doubts, let's talk numerically, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So you can see I don't have 4 in between, right? I don't have 4 in between. So where should 4 exist, right? See, or I like by seeing also I know ki 1, 2, 3 are smaller than 4. So there is no chance ki 4 can exist anywhere in between them, right? 4 will exist only after 3, right? Because the 3 is the smallest, smaller number than 4, right? After that, only possible solution is 4. But in our array, we didn't had any 4, right? So what was the next element? 5. Now, is there any chance sorted order ki I can get a 4 after 5? No, there is no chance, right? So I can say ki the first element that is greater than the 5 in a case of mismatch is the position where 4 should have ideally existed, right? You can also see 1, 2, 3, and then 4 should have come, right? 4 should have came here at the position of 5, right? So far, so good. Were you guys able to understand this mismatch part? Any doubts in this mismatch? Okay. Now, let's say that there is also an existence of 4, right? So you can see that now we are talking about the second case. That is a found case, right? Earlier we talked about a mismatch case, right? An invalid case. Now, if I go linearly iterating, as soon as I hit the value that itself is 4, right? I can simply print out the index and exit out, right? Agreed. If the element exists, that's an easy part, right? We just need to print key index kya hai. If it's a mismatch, that is where we need to mathematically analyze ki, okay, so array is sorted. What does sorted means? Ki all the elements are in increasing order. All the elements should be in the left would be smaller and all the elements in the right will be greater. The point of separation between the smaller and the larger values is the place where 4 should exist, right? Okay. Is the algorithm clear? Any doubts before moving to the code? Any doubts? All right.
No, it's clear.
All right. So first thing first, what do we need? Scanner, right? SCNNE. Scanner SC is equals to new scanner system.in, right? Now let's take the input of n, right? N is equals to sc.nextInt. What is n? N is the size of the array, right? Size of array A, second line contains n integers, the element A, the third line is the integer, right? So we are getting target as the third variable. So for that, I can say the second inputs are n space separated integers, and I is equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. Please read the values in the ARR of I. I need to create I also, ARR also. So let's also do that, right? For that, I need int ARR, right? That's an array is equals to new int array of size n, right? Okay. Now let's say int. What should we name target? Let's take it
K.
target k ले लेते हैं यार. k की छोड़ो target ले लेते हैं, right? Target is equals to sc dot next int, right? Now I'm done with the taking of inputs, right? Now what do I need to do? I can have a pointer as an int answer, right? -1, right? See, just see how I'm writing code, right? How I always tend to write code. I always have a global initializer where I keep the answers stored, right? Just see one. For int I is equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, right? Now what do we need to first check? If, right, if ARR at I is equal to target. What is this case? This is the found case, right? In that case, I can make my answer as I. Cool. The answer I found was I. Please break. Don't search any further, right? Please break. Else if it's not a found case, right? And the element is smaller, we need not to do anything. We only need to do something when we find an element that is greater, right? So if ARR at I is greater than target, right, this case will first be executed only when the location all the elements smaller than the target are passed, right? So if this is the case, please make the answer as, right, please make answer is equals to, okay, so please make answer is equals to what I can say is I, right? Answer as I and break. Right. Now you can see we are checking for the found case with this if case, right? Why we are taking answer as -1. Yes, I will be like telling that in a moment, right? Just be with me. So this is the found case, right? This is a non-existing case. Right. Now, after this, I can simply do a system dot out dot print ln answer. Right. Guys, is this algorithm correct? Any error you guys are able to find? Any doubts you guys have apart from -1? Right. So can also be lesser. Bobby, what do you want to say with lesser? That you are not able to understand the example given in. Okay. कोई बात नहीं, एक बार देखो, right? See guys, so far as I discussed, we need to like linearly iterate over the given array. If we found, we make that as an answer, right? कि चलो 4 मिल गया तो किस इंडेक्स में मिला वो हमने आंसर बना दिया, right? Else is कि we found an element that is greater than the target, right? So what was that situation as I explained? Covering all the left half, that was smaller. As soon as I found the first greater, that is 5. So this is the greater one part, right? It will be only executed as one, because as soon as either of them is executed, we are using a break statement to basically break out of the loop, right? Now, after the break, answer is still being held, right? So what is the answer? Whatever the answer is held, I'm like printing it out. Okay. Now let's try it. Right. If you guys are confident, let's try, right? Okay. So the output we got is 2, right? So I can say ki, yes, output 1 is 2, right? Output 2 should be, let's also check it with this one, right? Output 2 should be 1, right? As it is looking for 2. Yes, we got a 2, right? So should I try and submit it? So let's see what happens. Okay, so we got 3 test cases failed, right? Now there is one very important thing that we skipped, right? So any of you guys are able to figure it out, right? What is the thing that we skipped, right?
Sir, else part I think.
So smaller value are skipped.
नहीं,
Smaller
higher.
value से क्या smaller value से क्या कहना चाहते हो?
मतलब बेसिकली हमारे पास वैल्यू है जो उसमें यहाँ जो फर्स्ट एग्जांपल है हमारा, उसमें हम 7 को चेक करेंगे तो 7 से सारी वैल्यू छोटी है हमारी, तो उसमें उसका जो आंसर आएगा वो i+1 आना चाहिए और हम हमेशा i को प्रिंट करा रहे हैं।
एक सेकंड, तुम कह रहे हो कि जो 0th लोकेशन पे भी एलिमेंट है अगर वो भी बड़ा है, राइट, तो हम क्या प्रिंट करवा रहे हैं? एक तो साउंड आपकी ना रिपीट हो रही थी तो समझ नहीं आया।
बेसिकली सर अगर हम इनपुट 1 को चेक करें,
हाँ,
तो अगर इसमें हमारा टारगेट वैल्यू सपोज करो 7 है,
हाँ,
तो 7 के लिए जो हमारा आंसर होगा i+1 होगा ना, जो उसका जो नेक्स्ट वैल्यू होगी ना,
नहीं होगी
सर
फिर
मे
तो
बी
इंसर्ट कराओगे आप उसे।
अरे
सर,
इसमें आप
तो
ये देखो ना,
लास्ट वाला आएगा ना सर, n-1 उसको अपन पहले वाले से प्रिंट कर रहे हैं
समझे?
जैसे सर 1 3 5 6 है और अगर 7 प्रिंट करना है तो शायद 6 से प्रिंट करेगा, 6 का इंडेक्स से प्रिंट करेगा,
6 का इंडेक्स नहीं प्रिंट होगा, इंडेक्स 6 प्रिंट होगा। अच्छा देखो, अब सारे एक सेकंड अपने आप को म्यूट करो, राइट, वो आवाज बार बार आ रही है, राइट। तो देखो क्या हो रहा है, एक बार ना इसको पेन पेपर से समझते हैं, राइट। तो एक सेकंड, इसमें ना एक बहुत इस प्रॉब्लम में ना आपको आंसर इज इक्वल टू -1 की कहानी समझ आएगी कि क्यों हम जनरली ना एक फॉल्स आंसर रखते हैं अपने आप, ठीक है। तो देखो स्क्रीन विजिबल है, नोटपैड, right? Is the screen visible? Okay, all right, cool. So let's say कि our array is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? That's also half 10, right? Or rather, let's skip 10, right? No values. Okay. Now let's write the indices. So this is 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index, 5 index, 6 index, and 7 index, right? So initially, let's say we are working on the target, right? Let's say target. Let's take the target. Target is equals to 4, right? Now for 4, we know the answer, right? What is the answer that is going to be? Right? Answer is going to be this position. Now what is this position? This is the third position, right? So you can see कि इसके लिए जो answer 4 के लिए आना चाहिए वो 3 आना चाहिए, right? Now what is 3? So 3 is the index at which it should ideally be present, right? अब आप लोग कह रहे हो कि हम अगले का देख रहे हैं, आपने किसी ने कहा था कि हम 7 के लिए देख रहे हैं तो 7 की जगह इंडेक्स 6 का ही प्रिंट होगा, नहीं होगा। क्यों नहीं प्रिंट होगा? क्योंकि हम एरे i+1 से थोड़ी कर रहे हैं। देखो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, एक बार इसका ड्राई रन देखो कैसे हो, ठीक है, इसको 3 see initially I will be at 0, right? Now it will be comparing, is this element equal to or greater than 4? No, it's not, so simply move karo, right? Is this element greater or equal? No, again move. Is this element greater than or equal? No, again move. I goes to 3. Now this element is greater than the target, right? So we can say all the elements in the left are smaller, right? You can also see एक ही concept हम बार बार कह रहे हैं कि left में सारी छोटी नहीं, right? The break point is कि when we start to find the shift values, that this form smaller, now we have moved to the larger domain, right? Now at this very position, the value should be present at this one, right? The first greater element, right? So I can say if it is greater or equal, so at that moment please print the index of I. So what was the index of I? It was 3, right? तो आंसर तो सही आ, right? तो अब मेरे को बताओ कि ये बात समझने के बाद आप कौन सा कह रहे हो कि किस केस में फेल होगा?
सर टारगेट इक्वल टू 10 लेके देखो, आप रन करके देखो, टारगेट इक्वल टू
अगर टारगेट 10 होगा तो क्या होगा?
हाँ, ये बात अच्छी करें, अब समझ आई ना आपको? देखो
हाँ, मैं इसी को कह रहा था।
हाँ, अब देखो अगर टारगेट हुआ 10, राइट? नाउ लेट्स से कि टारगेट इज 10, राइट? टारगेट छोटा हो तब भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। लेट्स से कि इफ द टारगेट इज -1, व्हाट विल हैपन कि हमें पहले केस में ही आंसर मिल जाएगा, राइट? पहले छोटा भी समझ लेते हैं। कि I will be checking with 0. So as soon as I found an element greater, so I can say yes, this is the ideal position where -1 should exist, because there is no element smaller than this, right? So it is the first very element that is greater. So for -1 we will be getting an answer of 0, right? Agreed? ये तो smaller case handle हो जाएगा. The only issue we are facing why these test cases are failing is कि if the target is 10, right? If the target is 10, let's say target is 10. Now again the story will remain same. I will keep on changing, right? So let's say, okay, now have a quick please look, the answer is -1. Initially answer, someone asked why answer is -1. So this is the reason why answer was -1. Initially answer is -1 and I is performing its action, right? I is basically checking, is this number greater than or equal to target? No, it's not, right? Move ahead. Greater than equal? No, move ahead. Greater than equal? No, move ahead. Greater than equal? No, move ahead. Again, move ahead, move ahead, move ahead. So 9 is the last element, but is it greater than or equal to? No. After this, I basically falls out of the scope, right? I basically falls out of the scope. Agree? Now, if I is basically falling out of scope, so I never updated my answer, right? मेरे को ना answer value equivalent पे मिला ना greater पे मिला. Okay, I didn't find any sort of an answer in the equivalent range or the first very greater element, right? So now in this case, what should be the ideal answer for 10, right? Anybody in the chat कि 10 के लिए आखिर आंसर होना क्या चाहिए?
Sir, n.
Yes,
Written
n होना चाहिए. आप 8 बोल लो, right? So in this case, let's talk about n. What is n? So I can say n is 8, right? 8. So if all the elements in the given array are smaller, right? That means we will be performing the complete iteration, right? We will be performing the complete iteration. Now, as per the structuring of the code, I initially had -1. So this I can use as a point, as a flag value key. Okay. So if answer after the execution of the for loop is still -1, right? That basically means all the values in the given array were smaller, right? So I can simply fix this key by writing if answer is equal to -1, simply we do a system.out, or rather let's write the pseudo code, right? Simply do a print of n, right? Else print answer, right? So what is this 4 lines doing? कि it is basically checking कि अगर हमें पूरी array में कहीं पे आंसर कुछ मिला था तो आंसर अपडेट हुआ होगा, राइट? तो अगर आंसर अपडेट हुआ तो हमें सीधा बस वही आंसर प्रिंट करा देना है. अगर नहीं हुआ, -1 ही है, तो सीधा हमें आंसर प्रिंट करा दो, राइट? प्रिंट n करा दो ताकि हमें पता चल जाए कुछ अपडेट नहीं हुआ. तो ऑलमोस्ट वी नीड टू प्रिंट the target value we need to place outside of the bound of the array, right?
Sir, I didn't get why n. Once again, sir.
Why n? Because see, in the array we had 8 values, right? In the arrays we have 8 values, right? All the 8 values are smaller than the target value, right? All the values are smaller than 10, right? Now where should 10 ideally be placed? Now if we need to put 10 in the array, it should be the at nth position, right? Now what is n? N is also 8. So I can say the index just after the last index of the array. Okay, so how do we write the last index? It's n-1, right? So what will be the index just after that? It will be n, right? So I can use the last element as n, right? It's not going to be placed in the array, right? Because it's out of bound. But as per the problem requirement, we need to print out the index. So now we have to imagine if that number was to exist in the array, it needs to create one more space. Now that space will be having an index of n, right? So I can put 10 here, right? So that's why I can have the answer as n. Got it?
Yeah, sir. So I have one more doubt. If user given unsorted array and we didn't find the target, what we print, sir? How can we sort the array?
Okay, for that there is an inbuilt function, right? We can use that, but mainly these kind of questions will be covered after you learn about sorting, right? Okay, so yeah, we will be like using that one-line sorting, right? Sorting. Okay, so is this problem now clear? Are you guys able to like figure out the catch that why these 3 test cases were failing, right? Okay, so let's try and fix our code, right? Okay, so what was the fix that we found? We need a simple check case. If answer is still equals to -1, please do a system.out. print ln of n, right? Else we can do this. Right? Okay. Now I can see now it should accept, right? So let's try and submit it. Yes. So yeah, you guys can see all the test cases are now passed, right? So this was the
सर if
sorted
for
and
else if की कंडीशन को हम if में ही कंसीडर कर सकते हैं ना, array of I greater than equal to target लिख के
कर सकते हो, एंड रिलेशन ऑपरेटर डाल दो, कुछ मतलब लिखने को कोड तो कैसे भी लिख सकते हो ना, राइट? समझाने के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इसको खोल के लिखा जाता है ताकि तुम्हें समझ आ जाए. अब ये करने को मैं 4 लाइन में भी कर सकता हूँ, पर इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स मतलब वो समझना फिर मुश्किल हो जाएगा ना. कोड कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स करना वो तुम करो, राइट? मेरे से एंड से तो सबसे स्मूथेस्ट ही कोड मिलेगा ताकि तुम्हें हर एक चीज अलग अलग दिखे. ठीक है? या सो
सर
या यस
सर else if के बाद else नहीं कर सकते थे क्या? else if मतलब else if के बाद else में n आउटपुट करके आंसर इज इक्वल टू n.
इस कोड में else का करोगे क्या? else का मतलब तो वही हुआ ना कि एलिमेंट छोटा है, छोटे एलिमेंट के लिए तो कुछ करना ही नहीं. ठीक है? तो हर इफ एल्स के साथ else की जरूरत तो जरूरी नहीं है, राइट? हमें हो सकता है 3-4 ही इफ में काम करना हो, तो else की जरूरत हो हर बार जरूरी है. ठीक है? या सो व्हिच प्रॉब्लम शुड वी टेक नेक्स्ट? एनीबॉडी? व्हाट इज द मोस्ट डिमांडेड प्रॉब्लम? एक वॉक, सेकंड लार्जेस्ट. एक वॉक लेके सेकंड लार्जेस्ट, एक वॉक ले. All right, let's have a look at the cakewalk, right? Okay, so second largest angry Marcus cakewalks. Medium है, चलो कोई बात नहीं. Okay, angry professor is also okay. Let's do with Mark's cakewalk. Angry professor, Mark's cake. All right. So Marx love cupcakes, but he also likes to stay fit. Each cupcake has a calorie count. Mark can walk a distance to expend those calories. If Mark has eaten J cupcakes so far, after eating a cupcake with C calories, he must walk at least 2J miles to maintain his weight. Right now, if he eats cupcakes in the order shown the miles, he will need to walk 205, right? Okay, so this is not the minimum, right? Okay, so there is one condition ki Marx eats cupcakes, right? Now he has to maintain his weight. Now in order to maintain his weight, he's like he has a formula that he has devised to basically keep the weight in range, right? Now what is that formula? So you can see it's pretty small, right? I guess. So you can see there is written 2J star C, right? 2J star C. Now what is J representing here? J is representing the position of that cupcake calorie in the given array, right? So you can see we are given a calories array 5, 10, 7, right? So if Mark eats these cupcakes in the given order itself, right? So let's say 5 pehle khaya, then 10, then 7. So for 5, the total amount of miles he will required to walk is 2 to the power of I. What is I for 5? It's 0, right? So into 5. So 2 to the power 0 into 5 plus if he eats 10 as the second element, so 2 to the power 1 dot 10, right? Continuing the pattern, 2 to the power 2 dot 7, right? So I is basically the index of the cupcake array, right? Now we need to minimize this. How can we minimize this? Let's find it out, right? Problem description is clear. Any doubts in the problem description? Right? देखो किसी को इंग्लिश में नहीं समझ आया होगा तो मार्क को ना कपकेक की ना कैलोरीज दी हुई है, राइट? तो मार्क्स कपकेक्स की कैलोरीज दी है और एक ऑर्डर दिया हुआ है, राइट? किस ऑर्डर में वो कपकेक खा सकती है. ठीक है, उसके पास ये 3 कपकेक्स हैं, अभी किसी भी ऑर्डर में खाए, पहले 5 खा ले, 10 खा ले, 7 खा ले, राइट, 7 खा ले, 5 खा ले, 10 खा ले, किसी भी ऑर्डर में खा सकता हूँ। ओके, सो एक सेकंड, तो जिस ऑर्डर में वो खाता है उसके हिसाब से उसको फॉर्मूला एक दिया हुआ है, जिस फॉर्मूला के अकॉर्डिंग उसको इतने माइल्स चलने हैं ताकि उसका वेट गेन ना हो, राइट, वेट सीमलेस रहे। तो अगर वो पहले 5 खाता है तो दैट मींस कि ही इज ईटिंग 5 फर्स्ट। सो फर्स्ट का मतलब हो गया कि ओके, सो लेट्स मूव टू द नोटपैड आल्सो, राइट। ओके, सो लेट्स डू कि गिवन, right, given let's say array is equals to 5, 10 and 7, right? So these are the cupcake calories, right, that Mark can eat. Now let's talk about the indexes also, right? 0, 1 and 2. Okay, now see, there is a formula ki Mark has to eat 2 to the power I, right? Let's sorry, 2 star I, 2 to the power of I star, let's call it ARR at I, right? ऐसे आपको सही समझ आएगा. So 2 is the constant, I is the index, right? AR at I is equals to the value of the calories that the cupcake gave him in the array, right? Now, so these I are not as same as the given in the array, right? Now these I's are mutable. Now we have a control over like mutating these I's. Now, what are the several orders in which I can eat, right, or Mark can eat, right? First thing is ki let's say ki 5, right, 10 and 7. Okay, so let's talk about all the orders. So pehla order is ki he eats in the given order itself, right? Now what is the second case? 5, 7 and 10, right? So this is the second case, right? Pehle 5 khaya, fir 7 khaya, fir 10 khaya. Are there any other possibilities? Yes. So let's say ki he ate 7, 5 and then 10, right? 7, 10, then 5, right? Are there any other possibilities? Yes, I can say yes. So 10, 5 and 7, 10, 7 and 5, right? So I guess yes, these are the 6 possibilities, right? So these are the orders in which he can eat. Now if you like clearly have a look, okay, see, indexing of the elements are also changing, right? So if I draw let's say a rough order, right, if I draw a rough order, you can see all the elements are separating now, right? We are basically supposed to find the best suitable order in which he should eat so that he has to walk minimum, right? Now see, what was the formula? The formula was 2 to the power of I. This is a big question. It's not a big question, it's a math question, right? 2i star इतना बड़ा आंसर तो नहीं है भाई इसका, 1 मिनट में हो जाएगा, टेंशन ले. 2 star I ARR at I, right? 2 star I ARR at I. Now see, what is, see, if you guys are I will be requiring you guys to like observe in mathematics, right? Some sort of a mathematics, right? So this is a mathematical formula that is being used, right? That is being used. 2 to the power of I, right? So let's say ki, okay, so what is the actual formula for 1, right? Let's have a look कि इसके लिए formula क्या बनेगा. So 2, right, इसको हटा लो फिर. What is I for 5? It's 0. 2 to the power 0 into 5, right? So this is first. This is the calories gained if he eats 5 calorie cupcake first, right? This is the number of miles you need to walk. Now second is he ate 10, so 2 to the power 1 star 10 plus 2 to the power 2 star 7, right? So I will be getting some sort of calories. Now let's check for the second case. 2 to the power 0 star 5 plus 2 to the power 1 star 7 plus 2 to the power 2 into 10, right? I will be getting some calories. Okay, now are you guys able to see some sort of a pattern, right? If I generalize it, you can see that 2 to the power 0 into some sort of a value x, right, plus 2 to the power 1 into some sort of value y plus 2 to the power 2 some sort of value z, right? These terms are fixed. 2 power 2 power are fixed. Why they are fixed? Because these are talking about only the indexes, right? These are only talking about the indexes. Now, if we clearly observe, what are 2 to the power 0? It's, I can say 1. Anything to the power 0, it's 1. What is 2 to the power 1? It's 2. What is 2 to the power 2? It's 4. So you can see the multiplicative constant is increasing in this way, right? Multiplicative constant is increasing, right? So if I need to reduce, if I need to minimize it, I need to pair the greatest element with the like greatest constant with the smallest element, right? Agreed? अगर मैं 4 को 10 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा तो वो 40 देगा. अगर मेरे को मिनिमाइज करना है तो अगर ये पार्ट बड़ा है तो मैं दूसरे पार्ट को सबसे छोटा करने की कोशिश करता हूँ ना. अगर मैं 4 को 5 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा तो वो मेरे को 20 देगा, राइट? ये बात समझ आई? Are you guys getting this point that I said? If I know कि constants are increasing towards right, I can like basically try to find the smallest of them by changing the secondary part that is in my control, that is the calories that I eat, right? So if I'm able to find the pair for the greatest constant with the smallest number, right? Smallest calories. So according to you, now after this observation, what if we sort the array from greater to smaller value and then take this sum? Yes, Jyoti, that's the answer, right? So according to you guys, which case, right, amongst these 6 cases, which case will be giving me the best answer after this observation? 6. Yes, 6 will be giving me correct answer. Why 6? See, because I know 2 to the power 0 is 1, right? Into something. Let's not talk about that. 2 into something, right? Right. Let's keep them blank. Now 4 into something, right? Now let's try to find out the values. Okay. Now 1 is the smallest, right? Or rather, let's look it in the different way. That is easier to explain. Now 4 is greatest. So I need to match it with the smallest calories possible. What is the smallest calorie possible? I can say 5. Now, after this, I have a 2, right? So for 2, okay, so I can say ki, okay, I have used 5 now. So what is the next best option for me? After 2, what is the smallest element? That is 7, right? Same story. After 7, what is the smallest element remaining? Not 10. So you can see this will be giving me the smallest answer possible, right? So 4 5s are 20, 7 2s are 40, 10 1s are 10, right? So 10, 24, 24 is 44, right? So the total, so the minimum answer came out to be 44. If you have a look at the problem description, 44 will be the answer required, right? Apart from this, any possible case I try, I will be getting some greater value, right? Agreed? Itna samajh aaya? Any doubts? Any doubts? Yeah. If anybody has a doubt, please unmute yourself and let's have a conversation. This question is a bit more mathematical observation, right? Okay. Now, if you guys are confident with the approach, should we move to the coding part? Or is there any explanation you guys require? But please write code in the chat so that I know, okay, let's move to the code. Okay. So let's have a look. Okay. All right. So what are the inputs? I can say कि scanner बनाना पड़ेगा. Right. I need int n. Right. Let's create the array int arr. Right. Right. Calories I'm renaming as arr. Right. So new int of size n. Right. Please take the all the values of this array int I is equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, right? The scene ARR at I is equals to SC dot next int, right? So this is done. We are done with the coding part now. So now there is a inbuilt function that is arrays dot sort, right? So this is that ARR arrays dot sort. Okay, ARR. See, now what is this function doing? Remember we talked about math dot minimum, math dot maximum, right? So that was an inbuilt function helping us to find maximum and minimum amongst the two values. Now, so far you guys haven't studied how sorting internally works, right? So this is the inbuilt function that helps us sort the arrays. Now, what will be the result after sorting? Let's talk about the given array only. 5, 10, and 7, right? So you can see this is exactly same as the calories. So the array ARR, it will be initially looking at like this. Now, after this line of code will be executed, now this array will be passed to the sort function. Now this sort function will be sorting it. So now how array will be looking? 5, 7, and 10, right? So you can see it's sorted in the ascending order, right? 5, 7, and 10. But is this the order we require? No, it's not the order we require. We need to now reverse this array so that we get the descending order, right? So because you can see कि हमें सबसे बड़ा एलिमेंट सबसे पहले चाहिए था, right? क्योंकि हमें उसको 1 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करना है, right? In the internal inbuilt sorting function gives us the sorted array in the increasing order. But as per our requirement, we don't require the increasing order. We can we require the reverse order of this, right? Yes, we can use this also, but that's also like mean exactly same, like for loop ulta laga do. But just to control the code as per the like discussion, let's reverse the array, right? Now so that also, right, thoda sa aur code likhna padega, but quick practice ho jayegi, right? So how do we reverse the array? Right, so I can use for int I is equals to 0, I is less than n by 2, right? Please go only till the half, I plus plus, okay, int c is equals to ARR at I, right? ARR at I is equals to ARR at n minus 1 minus I, right? So do you guys know about this n minus 1 minus I?
No, sir.
N minus 1 minus I is equals to C. Okay, so I will be explaining this n minus 1 minus I. It's like really interesting concept, right? So अगर ये समझ आएगा ना तो कोडिंग करने में बहुत मजा आएगा, right? सॉपिंग वाले क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है? एक बार आपको भी मैं समझा दूंगा क्या होता है n minus 1 minus I. ओके, अगर थ्योरेटिकली समझना है तो देखो एरे की जो इंडेक्स की रेंज होती है वो 0 से n minus 1 होती है, राइट? तो अगर पहला एलिमेंट 0 है तो आखिरी एलिमेंट क्या होगा? n minus 1, ठीक है? ये बात समझ आ गई? पहला एलिमेंट अगर इंडेक्स 0 पे होता है तो लास्ट एलिमेंट इज स्टैंडिंग एट n minus 1. Now if I need to swap these values, so what are the values that I need to pick? Okay, so I need to pick 0th position and n minus 1 position, right? So if I write I is equals to array at I is 0, right? I is basically 0. So this basically means pick the element at 0th position, right? So now please pick the element at the n minus 1th position minus I, right? Why minus I or why n minus 1 is we total have n elements, right? Minus 1 is making them 0 based indexed, right? And minus I is like helping me move one at a time from back, right? So ये ऐसे एक एक करके हम वो एलिमेंट्स आगे से मतलब उठा के स्वैप कर देते हैं. कैसे काम कर रहे हैं ये मैं आपको पेन पेपर पे ना सही से बता दूंगा. Right, so this is basically swapping, right? Only we need to traverse half of the array. It will be like swapping it. Cool. Now we are ready with the decreasing order of these swaps. Now let's create the answer. Int answer. Right, let's make the int answer as initially 0 for int I is equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, right? So okay, so let's also simply do a printing out system dot out dot print ln answer. Right now, what is remaining? We need to calculate the answer. Now, how do we calculate answer? 2 to the power of index that we are standing at, right? And then multiplied with the variable itself, right? So let's do that. Let's make the constant part, right? In, let's say constant is equal to initially 1, right? Is initially 1. Now why initially 1? Because 2 to the power 0 is 1, right? So rather than like multiplying 2 n number times every time, let's create a constant, because हर बार 2 से multiply हो, right? तो इस तरीके से भी हम कर सकते हैं. देखो कैसे. Answer plus equals to, right, const into ARR at I, right? After this, please multiply const star equals to 2, right? देखो, initially the const is 1, 2 to the power 0 is 1. Now as soon as I enter the loop, I use that power that I already created, right? 2 to the power 0, that was 1. I multiply it with the element, right? After doing that, I prepare the next constant, that is multiplying it with the 2, right? So now it's 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, right? So sorry, it's 2 to the power 1, right? It will be becoming 2. 1 into 2 makes it 2. All right. So ये ऐसे हुआ, राइट? कोई बात नहीं, अगर कुछ ना भी समझ आया हो ना तो एक बार मेरे को बता देना, मैं तुम्हें फिर से पेन पेपर पे ना दिखा दूंगा, क्योंकि थ्योरेटिकली बताना ना मुश्किल होता है. हाँ
हेलो सर. सर
क्या?
आपने क्या नीचे 1 मिनट कंसोल को हाइड करना. कॉन्स्ट टू स्टार मतलब 2 से मल्टीप्लाई किया है आपने.
हाँ
तो 1 इंटू 2 2, 2 इंटू 2 4, 4 इंटू 2 तो 8 हो जाएंगे सर.
हाँ, तो कोई बात नहीं.
तो सर
8 वाला
6
वैल्यू हम यूज थोड़ी. 6 क्यों आएगा यार? 2 टू द पावर 3 क्या होता है?
1 इंटू 2 2 हो जाएगा सर. फिर 2 इंटू
हाँ,
2 करेंगे, 2 इंटू 2
4 हो
4 हो
जाएगा.
जाएगा.
हाँ,
और 4 इंटू 2
8 हो जाएगा. 2 टू द पावर 2 की पावर में ही चल रहा है ना ये. तो भाई मैथ्स की बात हुई, इसमें तो कोडिंग कुछ है ही नहीं. फॉर्मूला देखो ना, फॉर्मूला क्या कह रहा है? फॉर्मूला तो ये कह रहा है ना, 2 टू द पावर में देखो, 2 टू द पावर 0, 2 टू द पावर 1, 2 टू द पावर 2. तो 2 टू द पावर 0 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4. Similarly, 2 to the power 3 is 8, right?
2 टू. ओके सर.
समझ आया?
इंक्रीमेंट.
6
यस सर.
6 नहीं चाहिए, हर बार 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करना है. तो रादर देन कि हर बार मैं हर वैल्यू पे खड़े होकर ये निकालू कि अच्छा 2 टू द पावर 2 क्या होता है, मैं पीछे से एक एक करके उसमें बस 2 मल्टीप्लाई कर दूंगा, तो वो सीधा आंसर हो जाएगा. लाइक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बचा रहा हूँ. ठीक है?
ओके सर. ओके.
राइट. सो आई गेस व्हाट इज द एरर. अच्छा देखो गाइस, मैंने ना कॉन्स्ट ले लिया था. कॉन्स्ट इज कीवर्ड, रिजर्व्ड कीवर्ड, राइट? सो इसलिए उसको यूज नहीं कर सकते. सो आई हैव रिप्लेस्ड कॉन्स्ट विद के, राइट? सो आई बिलीव नाउ इट शुड वर्क. कोई एरर होगा तो देख लेंगे. आंसर आ रहा है 11. राइट, आंसर आ रहा है 11. ARR at 0, ARR at n by 2 swap हो रहा है. एक सेकंड. k is equals to 1 k star I.
सर ठीक आ रहा है, आंसर 11 ही आएगा सर. इनपुट 132 है.
अच्छा सॉरी यार, ठीक है सॉरी. मैं वो देख रहा था. सबमिटेड. 4 test cases failed. 4 test cases failed. अगर देख लेते हैं क्या. अच्छा पावर में जा रहे हैं ना, तो पावर में फिर वो बहुत बड़ा आंसर हो जाता है, राइट? सो लेट्स मेक इट लॉन्ग. राइट, लेट्स कीप द आंसर एज लॉन्ग. लॉन्ग, राइट? लॉन्ग करते हैं. अभी टेस्ट केस फेल हो रहा है. Yeah. R is 1
K भी तो लॉन्ग में हो सकता है ना।
हाँ K भी
हेलो
लॉन्ग
सर।
में जाएगा, K भी लॉन्ग में जाएगा, सही कह दो। क्योंकि और एल्गोरिथम तो सही है, एल्गोरिथम में कुछ नहीं है, K
सर
लॉन्ग
लॉन्ग आंसर।
यस नाइस। तो भाई हम भी फंस जाते हैं कई बार भाई, ठीक है। तो हाँ बस यही था, ठीक है। अब इस प्रॉब्लम में राइट कॉन्सेप्ट्स ना कुछ नए नए यूज हो गए राइट, जो मतलब तुम लोगों ने पहली बार देखे हो राइट। तो ऐसे कंफ्यूज मत हो ना, अब मेरे को एक एक करके बताओ किस चीज में नहीं समझ आया, तो उस चीज पे ना डिस्कशन कर लेंगे। आज की क्लास अगर लंबी भी होती है तो आई गेस किसी को दिक्कत है तो बताओ।
18
लाइन नंबर 18 नहीं समझ आई। आरएस डॉट सॉर्ट समझ आया?
हाँ सर।
ठीक है, आरएस डॉट सॉर्ट समझ आया। आई गेस मेन दिक्कत आपको सिर्फ इसी में आ रही है n-1 वाला राइट, बाकी तो सेम समझ है राइट। पहले मेरे को जो की पॉइंट्स है वो पूछ लेते दो। इनपुट समझ आ गई, arrays डॉट सॉर्ट समझ आ गया राइट। इस पार्ट को छोड़ दो राइट, प्लीज लीव 70 to 22 राइट। ओनली लेट मी नो कि दिस पार्ट राइट, हाउ इज पावर बीइंग क्रिएटेड, ये पार्ट समझ आ गया ना। k को हमने 1 कैसे लिया और हर बार 2 से कैसे मल्टीप्लाई कर, ये पार्ट समझ आया, पावर कैसे बन रही है। नहीं ये भी नहीं समझ आया ठीक है चलो कोई बात नहीं, इसको भी देखते हैं। तो एक काम करते हैं, इसको ना कॉपी कर लेते हैं कोड को। ये चीजें ना मतलब टाइम के साथ ना तुम्हें इतनी यूज टू हो जाओगे कि इसके अलावा कुछ लिखोगे नहीं, ठीक है। एक सेकंड। Alright, so let's paste this code right. तो नोटपैड विजिबल है ना अभी, है ना? देखो अब इस वाले पे इसकी बात करते हैं राइट। सो देखो अब देखो एक आरे बनाते हैं हम, सिंपल आरे रखूंगा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 राइट। let's also write their indices 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 right. So blue is index. Cool. Now I need to swap it right, I need to swap it. So my answer should be right, मेरा आंसर क्या होना चाहिए, पूरी मेरे को array रिवर्स करनी, ठीक है। ये एक इंडिपेंडेंट क्वेश्चन है राइट, जिसमें हम ये कॉन्सेप्ट सीखते हैं राइट। पर इसमें तुम ऐसे ही सीख लो कि आंसर जो आना चाहिए वो ऐसे आना चाहिए 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 and 1 राइट, रिवर्स ऑर्डर में आना चाहिए। नाउ व्हाट आई हैव रिटन इज कि बेसिकली दिस थिंग कि एक इंट सी ले लो, उसमें हमें डाल दो ARR at i, फिर ARR at i में ARR at n-1 minus i डाल दो राइट, एंड ARR at n-1 minus i में तुम c डालो राइट। आई होप हाउ दीज थ्री स्टेटमेंट्स वर्क, ये पार्ट क्लियर है। ये स्वैपिंग एल्गोरिथम राइट, ये n-1 वाले में ही सिर्फ दिक्कत होनी चाहिए, स्वैपिंग कैसे हो रही है उसमें दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए। उसमें दिक्कत है तो बताओ राइट। सो अब देखो whenever we swap, so there are 2 pointers that we need right. So see clearly see कि पहले बात करते हैं नंबरिंग सिस्टम राइट। जीरो बेस्ड इंडेक्सिंग है, n क्या है इस array के लिए, n क्या है, n is I am talking about size of the array right. What is n in this array? I can say कि n is 8. Cool, n is 8. Now what is n-1? n-1 is 7 right. Please keep in mind these two positions right, what is n and what is n-1. now ये बात ना आराम से सुनना, आराम से, क्योंकि ये थोड़ी सी ट्रिकी है, ठीक है। अब देखो स्वैप करनी है मेरे को पहली पोजीशन और लास्ट पोजीशन राइट। अगर मेरे को रिवर्स करना है तो आई नीड टू बेसिकली स्वैप दिस पोजीशन with this position right. now what is this position, this is 0 okay. So let's say कि I'm also using a for loop to do this right. So I'm using an iterator I right. Where is my I standing? I is standing at 0th position right. So what is ARR at I? ARR at I is 1, right? ARR at I is 1. Now the second element that I was talking about is ARR at n minus 1 minus I. Now please calculate this and tell me कि ये पोजीशन कौन सी आई है, इससे मेरे को इंडेक्स कौन सा मिल रहा है। n minus 1 minus I से मेरे को कौन सा इंडेक्स मिल रहा है? 7 मिल रहा है। Yes guys, I only got one answer. 7 मिल रहा है ना। देखो तो यहाँ पे हम बात करें इंडेक्स की, तो इंडेक्स पे 7 मिला, 7 पे एलिमेंट कौन सा है? 7 तो इंडेक्स हुआ ना, 7 पे एलिमेंट कौन सा है? एलिमेंट है 8 है, राइट? तो अब देखो अगर मैं इन दोनों को स्वैप करूं तो ये मतलब वही नहीं होगा कि मैंने पहला और लास्ट को स्वैप कर दिया, राइट? तो इससे क्या हो रहा है कि देखो हमारे को पता है कि ये वाला जो एलिमेंट है ना, ये लास्ट एलिमेंट, दिस इज n minus 1, right? Now I am using this property, right, and combining it with the position of I to get the values one by one. कैसे? अब ये ड्राई रन देखो, राइट? बस ये n minus 1 minus I जो है ना, ये एक बार समझ आ गई ना तो बहुत बढ़िया। देखो कैसे होगा, n minus 1 से तो I आ गया। Now what I basically did is कि standing I at 0, I figured out की first position and the last position, right? Then I swapped them. So what will come here? 8 will come here, right? What will come here? 1 will come here, right? Now one swapping is done. Now I basically iterate again. What happens is कि I moves now. I अब यहाँ खड़ा है, right? This is I pointing good. Now what is the values of ARR at I and ARR at I n minus I minus 1? n minus 1 minus I, right? अब इसकी वैल्यू बताओ, ARR at I पे क्या है?
7.
हाँ, इंडेक्स आया 1 तो पोजीशन एलिमेंट हो गया 2, राइट? तरन चला सकते हो, राइट? तुम फॉर लूप उल्टा चला लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आंसर सही आएगा। पर ये कॉन्सेप्ट अगर सीखना है तो देख लो ना कॉन्सेप्ट में क्या है, राइट? ये कॉन्सेप्ट इतनी जगह यूज करोगे कि मैं बता नहीं सकता कितना यूज आता है इसका, ठीक है?
सर I less than n by 2 ऑड इवन दोनों केसेस में होगा।
हाँ, ऑड इवन दोनों केसेस में चलेगा, ठीक है? अब देखो, अब n minus 1 minus I का आंसर निहाने दिया है कि इट विल बी 7, राइट? सो अब तुम खुद देखो क्या हुआ, I ने एक एलिमेंट आगे मूव करा था तो n minus 1 minus I ने एक एलिमेंट पीछे मूव कर दिया, राइट? राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंड इज कि n minus 1 अगर हम इनिशियली देखें तो इनिशियली I is 0 एंड इनिशियली n minus 1 इज द लास्ट एलिमेंट, राइट? क्योंकि I का 0 है तो उसको मैं इफेक्ट 0 मान लेता हूं, राइट? As soon as I moves में I में एक चीज ऐड होगी तो उसका मतलब वही है ना कि n minus 1 में से एक एलिमेंट अब सब्ट्रैक्ट होगा तो मतलब वो एक स्टेप पीछे आएगा और I एक स्टेप आगे जाएगा, राइट? ये बात समझ आई? Did you guys got this line कि when 1 is added to I, this ARR I means okay, please move one step ahead, right? Now n minus 1 was the last element, right? Last index. I को initially 0 मान लो, तो 0 मान दिया तो मतलब अगर ये 0 था तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ ना कि पहले एलिमेंट पे खड़ा है और n minus 1 तो लास्ट एलिमेंट पे खड़ा है, राइट? I 0 तो कुछ कम नहीं हो। अब जैसे ही I एक एलिमेंट आगे मूव करा, n minus 1 में से एक एलिमेंट और कम हो गया। एलिमेंट कम होने का मतलब है कि चलो एक स्टेप पीछे आ जाओ, राइट? तो अब तुमने देखा कि ये था एक साइड, दोनों साइड से श्रिंक होंगे, they will come towards the center, right? And they will be moving at the same rate. So the swapping will basically happen with their respective positions, right? Okay, so let's continue the trend, right? What is happening now, right? So I hope अब clear हुआ होगा कि n minus 1 minus I क्या होता है? Minus I is just to basically decrement 1 by 1 by 1, right?
So
and
what is
n minus
I in the n
1
minus 1 minus I?
okay, I is the
index
I
number or the value of the?
yes, it's the index number, right? You can see कि I have written कि for loop को run करो, I is equals to 0 से I is less than n by 2, right? Okay, yeah, this is very interesting question कि why I is less than n by 2, right? Why not n? Why not I is less than n, right? See, as I said कि they are basically incrementing, basically coming towards the center, right? See, shrink होते होते I यहाँ तक आ जाएगा. Let me just change the color so that you can see what is happening. concept like use it, right? Now this will be coming to this side, right? So this is I, or rather, sorry, this is I. We can n minus 1 minus I, right? And the blue is I, right? If I were to perform the operations only till n by 2, right, that is the half of the value. If I cap the value of I, so what were the possible values of I? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So the number of possible steps was only 4, right? But if I don't do this, if I allow it to go to n by 2, don't you guys think that now it will also cross the initial position and reach till n, right? Now what will happen? It will again swap these values, right? It will again swap these values. So हमने पहले ऐसे कर दिया था, right? यहाँ पे 7 आ गया था, यहाँ पे 2 आ गया था, right? Again, let's say कि let's continue, right? एक बार समझ आ जाएगा. तो इसमें फिर ऐसे करा, ये यहाँ पे आ गया. Then 3 and 6 got swapped, right? So 3 came here, now 6 came here, right? Again, I came to this thing, and this basically pointed to this. Now 4 and 5 are also swapped. Now the answer is created. At which point n by 2 तक आते आते ही आंसर क्रिएट हो गया था, right? After this, if I allow my code for loop to run, right, if I don't cap it till n by 2, what will happen? See, now this I will basically move ahead, right? Now this I is going to this part and this is going to this part, right? They will like just continue. So what will happen now? 5 and 4 will again get swapped. So 5 यहाँ आ गया, 4 यहाँ आ गया. Don't you think now they will like start to nullify the effect that we had till n by 2, right? Because they are now swapping the values. So the actual answer that I will be getting is कि see, फिर से I इधर आ गया, pointer जो n by 1 n minus 1 वाला था वो यहाँ आ गया, तो 6 फिर से यहाँ आ गया and 3 caught here, right? Again same thing happens. I goes till this and this pointer comes here. Now 7 and 2 are again swapped. 7 and 2. Right, same thing. Pointer ऐसे आ गया, I इधर आ गया, right? So 1 and 8, right? So basically, see, we only need to cap it till n by 2 to basically have a reverse order, right? If I allow it to go to n, it will first create the reverse order till n by 2, and after it crosses n by 2, it will start to nullify the effect of a reversal, right?
So what if the one number left in the middle of the elements?
Okay, let's have a look at the odd values also, right? So even case to samajh aa gayi, even case is clear, right? Now let's have a look at the odd values, right? So the same function works for odd values also, right? See, what is the odd values? Let's take 5 values, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? Let's talk about the indexing also. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? What is the n this time? N is 5. What is n minus 1? It's 4, right? So let's talk about ARR at I, ARR at n minus 1 minus I, right? Acha. So in this case, what will also be n by 2 kya hoga? What will n by 2 be? I can say n by 2 will be 2, right? Yes, n by 2 will be 2. So I, okay, so one thing is ki I have written I is less than n by 2, right? I is less than n by 2. So you can see that this time I will be here, 1 will be here initially, right? Now for 0, it will be allowed to move, right? So basically swapping will be happening. So 5 will come here, 1 will go there, right? Now again they move one position, right? Now doing the swap again, right? For I is equals to 1, it's allowed. So what will happen is 4 comes here, 2 goes there, right? Now when the I increments this time, right, I is at 2, will this be allowed, right? Will this be allowed? No, it won't be allowed, right? I is less than 2 is allowed, but I is now 2, so this won't be allowed. So for this case, it's basically not swapped, right? Also let's see ki agar maine allow bhi kar diya, right? So if I say I is less than or equal to n by 2, what will happen is ki I will be pointing to 3, right? And also this will be pointing to 3. So basically 3 will swap place with itself only, right? So it's also valid and it's also unnecessary, right? So if we keep I is less than n by 2, it basically generalizes the algorithm for odd and even both, right? Any doubts now?
Okay.
Right? Yes, anybody, any doubts? No. Okay, clear. So I guess this problem is clear now, right? You guys learned a new concept, right? N minus 1 minus I, right? Right. So yeah, guys. Achha. All right. So should we move to the next problem, or let's continue tomorrow, right? What do you guys want, right? I can continue till 1 hour more, right? So we can have this class till 12. What do you guys want? Yes, this is a linear search. Yes, this is a linear search. सेकंड लार्जेस्ट तो मैं करा दूं, पर मेरे को पहले ये बताओ ना कि क्लास और एक्सटेंड करूं या कल कंटिन्यू करूं, बताओ। ये दो ही प्रॉब्लम्स हो पाएंगे।
सर कल कर लो ना, कल।
सर कल क्लास होगी? कल वीकेंड है यार, फिर एक्स्ट्रा क्लास करनी पड़ेगी। चलो मैं देखता हूँ फिर, आज के लिए अगर तुम कहते हो तो बंद ही कर दे, राइट? क्योंकि ये ज्यादा ना हो जाए। एक बार जरा देख ले क्या क्या बचता है अपना। एंग्री प्रोफेसर का लॉजिक बता दो। लॉजिक तुमने ट्राई करा खुद?
सर सेकंड लार्जेस्ट में सिंपल क्वेश्चन है सर। एक बार अगर 1 2 3 4 एंड 4 होगा तो सेकंड लार्जेस्ट नंबर क्या होगा?
1 2
3 4 एंड 4।
1 2 3 4 एंड 4 अगर सेकंड लार्जेस्ट एलिमेंट है तो सेकंड लार्जेस्ट एलिमेंट 4 हुआ था।
4 भी कैसे होगा? 3 होगा।
नहीं, आप क्या कहते हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट वैल्यूज की बात नहीं कर रहे, आप एलिमेंट की बात कर रहे हो, राइट? सो अगर दो फोर्स है तो एक फोर को आपने लार्जेस्ट मान लिया तो सेकंड जो है वो 4 वो हुआ, राइट? आप ऑर्डरिंग में देखो उसको, ठीक है, राइट? क्या था लॉजिक बता दो। यस सर, वन क्वेश्चन, हाउ डू आई नो linear search binary search? They've linear search, binary search. See, binary search, that guy I guess basically knew about binary search, right, with some previous experience. Binary search will be taught to you guys in the module 2, right? So don't worry about it. So far, like, see, when you will be done with the binary search, right? So you will be getting intuition ki, okay, so we can apply binary search in this. Binary search is basically applied on the problems where the sorted kind of situation is given to you pre-hand, right? Or you can basically sort the given inputs, right? Apart from that, linear search is the best option we have, right? सब array brief कर दो यार, सब array के लिए तो भाई बहुत टाइम लगेगा। एक बार आप रिकॉर्डिंग देखो, right? Linear search basically means going over the elements one by one and like checking them, right? In binary search, what happens is we split the array in two domains, greater and smaller, right? We remove the search space by half every time, right? But in linear search, we are like going over all the elements one by one. So we are linearly iterating over all the elements. So that's why it's called linear search. Assignment question is enough for placement. यार enough for placement तो कुछ होता नहीं है। प्लेसमेंट के लिए जितना कर लो उतना ही बढ़िया, राइट? असाइनमेंट के भरोसे तुम अपनी ग्रोथ करो ना, सिर्फ प्लेसमेंट ही थोड़ी नहीं है। प्लेसमेंट के बाद सस्टेन भी तो करना वहाँ।
सर अपन अगर सेकंड मैक्स करते हैं ना सर, उसको अगर मैक्स से इक्वल नहीं करते तो फिर 4 तो आएगा ही नहीं सर प्लस 4 और।
हाँ, तो वहाँ पे मैक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं आएगा ना, वहाँ पे अलग कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा, राइट? हाँ, वहां पे मतलब बेसिकली ना 3 केसेस बनते हैं, उन 3 केसेस को हैंडल करना होता है, राइट? वो मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा, लाइक उसके लिए पेन पेपर चाहिए होगा, राइट? सो ओके, सो हाउ मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स आर लेफ्ट, राइट? वी हैव लाइक लार्जेस्ट नंबर तो करना नहीं है, फेसिंग सन, सर्चिंग अ नंबर, राइट? एक सर्चिंग अ नंबर अगर देखो तो ये लीनियर सर्च का एग्जांपल होगा आई गेस, राइट? It's pretty simple कि 5 elements है, we need to find 16, so please print the index of 16. I guess you guys are able to do this problem, right? Anybody has doubt in this problem?
No, sir.
ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई ना?
सर आदर्श ने करा दिया था।
ठीक है, तो हमारा लार्जेस्ट नंबर नहीं करना, सर्चिंग नंबर हो गया, फेसिंग द सन बचता है, डिविजिबल सम पेयर बचता है, राइट? एंड मार्क्स के वर्क हो गया, 1 2 वो हो गई, 3 4 और 1 5, सेकंड लार्जेस्ट नंबर। तो एवरेज कैलकुलेटर भी अगर तुम देखो तो ये भी तुम खुद कर ट्राई कर सकते हो, राइट? एवरेज कैलकुलेटर में बेसिकली यू नीड टू टेक ऑल द इनपुट्स, बेसिकली एक एवरेज का फॉर्मूला निकालो, राइट? इट्स इजी, राइट? ये क्वेश्चन हो गया एवरेज कैलकुलेटर।
यस सर।
ठीक है, इसमें ये भी हो गया। तो इसके बाद कौन सा कह रहे हो? आदर्श सर ने कौन सा करा दिया? तो डिविजनल सम पेयर हो गया, आदर्श सर ने करा दिया।
हाँ सर।
तो अपना फिर बचता है फेसिंग सन, एंग्री प्रोफेसर और लार्जेस्ट नंबर, सेकंड लार्जेस्ट नंबर, राइट? ठीक है, तो कल तुम लोग फ्री हो तो बताओ, कल एक एक्स्ट्रा क्लास करा लें।
हाँ सर चलेगा।
ठीक है, तो सेम टाइम ही रखते हैं ताकि कंसिस्टेंट ही रहे, ठीक है? हिसाब तुम भी अपना मतलब पूरा दिन का काम कर लो, रात को आ जाओ पढ़ने, ठीक है? सुबह कल 11 बजे यार, सुबह सुबह मत काम कराओ भाई।
11 बजे सर ये क्लास है आदर्श सर, एक्स्ट्रा क्लास, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग रहेगा।
एरी का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग है ना, राइट? कोई बात नहीं, वो तो आदर्श सर की अपनी क्लास होगी। असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चंस तो मैं ही कराऊंगा ना, राइट? वो आदर्श सर थोड़ी। ठीक है, तो देख लो जो भी है। तो फिर कल एक एक्स्ट्रा क्लास कराते हैं अगर तुम एग्री करते हो, राइट? तो मैं होगा तो मीट पे तुम्हें सर्च शेयर कर दूंगा ग्रुप पे भी, राइट? प्रॉबेबली यही 10 बजे का टाइम होगा, राइट? तुम्हारे पास कोई और टाइम है तो बताओ, सुबह मत कराना यार। ठीक है, तो चलो 10 बजे ही रखते हैं, ठीक है? इसमें पंगे नहीं लेते। 8 नहीं भाई, 8 10 से 11 बेस्ट है, ठीक है? यस, ठीक है, तो कल मिलते हैं, ठीक है? कोई डाउट होगा तो मेरे को बता देना, कल वैसे भी वीकेंड है तो खींच लेंगे कोई लंबा बात, कोई दिक्कत।
सर जैसे आपने वो अभी सॉर्टिंग का बताया, हेलो,
हाँ हाँ बोलो।
मैंने चैट में भेजा आपको।
हाँ हाँ,
तो वो सर इसमें और उसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या रहेगा? मतलब मैंने सेकंड लार्जेस्ट ऐसे निकाला था।
सेकंड लार्जेस्ट तुमने ये तो
हाँ मतलब स्वैप कर दो।
int I is equals to 1, int I is equals to I is less than I is equals to I plus 1 j। अच्छा, फिर आ रहा है। तुम्हें बबल सॉर्ट आती है?
नहीं सर, मैंने यूट्यूब पे देखा था सर।
हाँ, ये कोड बबल सॉर्ट का कोड है, ठीक है? मतलब जो बबल सॉर्ट एल्गोरिथम है ना, ये उसका कोड है, राइट? तो तुम सेकंड लार्जेस्ट एलिमेंट बबल सॉर्ट से कर सकते हो, सॉर्टिंग करके कर सकते हो, या फिर एक लीनियर तरीका होता है। अच्छा, इसमें देखो तुमने 2 फॉर लूप यूज करे, राइट? तो इसमें ऑफ n स्क्वायर आ गया कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी,
मतलब बढ़ गई कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी।
हाँ, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बड़ी है, मतलब बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है, राइट? इसको छोटा कर सकते हैं। सेकंड लार्जेस्ट नंबर ना तुम O ऑफ n में निकाल सकते हो, सिंगल आइटरेशन, ठीक है?
वो तो नहीं पता, वो सब नहीं पता सर।
हाँ, वो मतलब वो मैं बता दूंगा, लाइक अगर तुम लोग इंटरेस्टेड हो तो। देखो, कोड कराने के ना 2 तरीके होते हैं, राइट? अब ये तुम्हारी चॉइस है, तुम क्लास कैसे कंट्रोल करना चाहते हो। अगर तुम मेरे को बोलो कि सर सिर्फ सॉल्यूशन चाहिए, तो सॉल्यूशन O ऑफ n स्क्वायर का होता है, बहुत आसान, ठीक है? जो तुमने कर दिया। अगर तुम्हें सही में डाउट क्लासेस का मतलब एक्सपीरियंस लेना है ना, मतलब कुछ एनहांस करनी है, तो फिर अलग अलग ऑप्टिमाइजेशंस देखने की जरूरत हो जाती है, ठीक है? कि कैसे ऑप्टिमाइज करते हो, राइट? क्योंकि मेन क्लास में तुम पढ़ के आ जाते हो, डाउट क्लास में तुम ऑप्टिमाइजेशन सीखते हो, ठीक है? तो हो सकता है मेरी क्लास में ना कुछ चीजें तुम्हें लगें कि बहुत ज्यादा ट्रिकी हो रही है, वो ट्रिकी तुम्हें देखनी जरूरी, राइट? ताकि तुम अपने एंड पे एक बार उसको समझ जाओ, ठीक है? तो हम इसका श्योरली O ऑफ n वाला सॉल्यूशन भी डिस्कस करेंगे, राइट? ताकि तुम्हें पता चले लीनियर में कैसे होता है, ठीक है?
ठीक है,
ठीक है, ऑलराइट,
थैंक यू।
सो या कल फिर मिलते हैं एक्स्ट्रा क्लास में, कल कर ही लेंगे, राइट? जरूरत पड़ेगी यार उसकी, ठीक है? ओके, ऑलराइट गाइस, कोई डाउट हो तो कल ले आना, फिर कल देखते हैं सारे डाउट एक बार। ओके।